Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our live preview of Amber Lake. So all the gameplay elements are now in, and we're going to be able to show off everything that is going on. So this is a bird's eye view of the town. You can see the fountain and some of the shops. Behind us is the administration building. Behind that is the grocery store. Hardware store is right over there. We're going to head on down. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time. I got everything that we need to go fishing, so we're pretty much going to just jump into that. But we will show off the new tackle store very quickly and just give you a look on reels. You're not going to see a whole lot of change. Big thing is you're going to see some new versions of some favorites and a couple of new ones. But you can see there's some new colors available. So nothing is really changed on the reel side of things. And I should have probably done this before I came down, one device you will need. And if you have the silver, you're going to want to buy this thing right away. It's right over here in the hardware store. And that is this bait grinder, and we'll show it in action and what it's used for later. But you definitely want these if you're a bottom fisherman. You're going to want this tool. And we're going to head back down into the town, and we're going to go to the first spot we're going to look at. What we're going to do is we're going to show off some of the rigs, but before we go over there, we'll just take a quick look. Right here is where you buy your quad bikes. I'm sure most of y'all have seen this from the other previews. There's a ticket store here where you can buy tickets for it, right? We're not going to buy one quite yet because we don't really need it quite yet. But yes, there you go. That's where you get your quad bikes. You can ride them around. Pretty fun. All right. We're going to actually... First spot I'm going to look at right here is right here in the little pond. So let's open up our inventory. See, I got some rods already set up. So I'm going to leave this rig the same, but we'll show off the new rigs real quick. We have, of course, your old rigs, basic paternoster, inline loop, bait fish. Everyone's familiar with this. The classic hair rig has been changed a little bit. So it will be just a classic hair rig. You put a single boilie on the end, pretty, just normal stuff. Snowman that I'm using right now is for bottom types that have crevices in them or might be a little hard. It basically has the bait kind of balance itself right up off the bottom, so it pops up a little bit so the fish can see it. And that's what's on this rig right here. We have new lead cores that need to be used. And you want to make sure that your color matches the bottom type on your lead cores. The color here is clay or potentially gravel. So we're going to go with a kind of a lightish right here. Just to make sure if we land in the sand, we're still covered. All right, and I already got a PVA bag on here. I will show you how these are made. They're a little different now, but we're going to go ahead and get a rod out into the water. So I already got my clip set for 50 at this spot because I've already scouted it out. After we get the rods out so we can get some bites going, we'll look at a few other things here. So I better move up a little bit. Okay, here we go. I'm basically casting onto this 1 meter hump right in the middle of the pond here, about a 50 meter clip. So let's just make sure my clip is good. Yep. Tighten it down. Come on. Tighten down already. There we go, we got that tight. And then let's go to the next rig, next rod. On here we have a classic hair. That's actually not the best rig for this bottom type. So we're going to change that. We're going to go with something called a chod rig here. And as you can see, you still have the method rigs have been reworked, so I'll show that real quick. So you now have two types of method rigs. This is like a standard hair rig with a method feeder on it, and this is a pop-up rig with a method feeder on it. So method feeders have been reworked, but we're going to go with this chod rig here. And I'll show you how you build a rig from the bottom up. Once again, we're going to go with an under the clay of some type. And we're going to give it a sinker. And we got some leader on here. Carp hook, you can go chod. There's a bunch of hooks in there. These are the ones I'm using right now. We'll go with the chod size 4. Alright, now you change the mount. So we can have corn, we can have pop-ups, we can have just a pop-up, we can have pop-up and corn. We'll go with a pop-up and 2 corn. So we're going to use a halibut and berries pop-up. Let's get we want the size 8. Yes, and we understand there's a lot of new baits here, guys. I mean, these are just pop-up boilies, right? I mean, that's pretty daunting when you got all your boilies you're looking at once. We are going to be adding a, at some point, not with this patch, but at some point, some sort of filter so you can sort through all this stuff. But here's the halibut and berry 20. We're going to use those. We're going to put on some corn. We'll give it a little fruity flavor and a little color. So let's see. Do we want some juicy peach? Here we go. Some tutti fruity yellow. I think that'll give it a little pop. All right, and we can add a dip. Let's go with some amino complex to give it a little extra protein kick. And we'll throw the little PVA on here. Make sure we're pointing in the right direction. Got a 50-meter clip. Oh, that must not have been set correctly. That's okay. That's close enough. Set the rod down. There we go. This is fishing for real. This really is a carp lake. This is what this lake is about. It is a carp lake. In fact, let's show you the species that are available. You know, you got your standard stuff: bleak brim, burbot, catfish, sleepers, chub. But here's where it starts to get interesting: albino carp, common carps, ghost carps, red carps, and of course your crucians. There's eels in this lake. Ooh, that's a big eel, 9 kilograms. Look at that. Frame-sided carp of different flavors. Leathers, linear carp. Various mirrors, scaleless carps. So yeah, this is a carp lake. It's not only carp. There's a lot of other fish in here, but carp is kind of there's just so many different types of carp that live in this lake. So it is something to think about there. Oh, and we got a bite. A new bite mechanics, guys. Watch this. Notice he's nibbling. He doesn't have it yet. When you start fishing this lake, if you go the old way and just grab it as soon as it starts beeping, you're going to lose the fish. You got to watch this now. So it's a little more realistic. You got to wait for him to take it. We'll worry about the other rod that we need to set up in a minute. So we got a bite, guys, and now we got to wait for him to decide to eat it. Hi, Steve. Not yet. It's very soon. Come on, fishy. This one, he's a little shy. He's just, you know, just Just a little shy. Come on. You know you want it. It's delicious. Halibut and berries. This is the one with the corn on it, right? Oh, no, no. Okay. This is a snowman, so he's on the snowman rig. Yes, Stefan Schwartzling, it is possible. That's one thing that's not quite set in stone yet. The unlock level has not been decided. There he goes. He's got it now. He's not a very big guy, but let's see what we got here. Here he comes. What do we got? Ah, and he's one of the new species. That's awesome. He's not a check-marked fish, but still, this is the frame-sided carp, one of the new species being introduced to the lake. Check it out. He's pretty. Beautiful fish. All right, let's get this snowman rig back out there. 50-meter clip. Tighten it up. All right, and since we had a bite on the snowman rig, that other one is a snowman too, but let's see. Let's go with a hinge stiff just to do something a little different. Once again, you set it up the same way. Make sure you get your colors right. We'll go with this one here. And nice sinker, leader. We're going to go with a mugga. All right, and it's a very similar setup. And this one, though, we're going to go with two pop-up boilies. So let's put a halibut and berries on there. Put a size 20. There we go. And then let's put on. Let's see. You know what? Let's go with something fruity here. Let's put on some wild plum. For the dip, let's go ahead and stick with the amino acid. That seems to be working for us. Put the PVA stick on here. All right, and we'll get this guy back out there. Ooh, there is no clip on that one. All right, I should have checked that before I started, but we'll fix that. Sim Pro, we do not have a it's not set in stone yet, so I don't know exactly what level this new lake's going to be yet. All right, let's set the clip correctly so that we don't overcast our spot. And that's something that we do need to discuss here in a second, guys. As soon as I get this last rig out there, we're going to talk about spots and feeding. So once you find a spot, it's a little different than it used to be. You need to know what the bottom type is in your spot, and once you've tightened up on what they're eating, you're going to want to craft some ground baits and stuff that are well tuned to the bite. So first, let's look at the marker rod. I'm sure some of y'all have seen this in the last one. We'll give it a clip of about, we'll give it 55 meters clip just to go a little further out. This is how you figure out what the bottom type is, right? So you cast it out there. You want to make sure your retrieve speed is very slow. I like to do like a 4 or 5. Because what you're doing is you're dragging this across the bottom and feeling the vibrations to determine what the bottom type is. So we're going to just reel this thing in and get a look at what the bottom type is. Real slow for now. There we go. Get it to, there we go. It's on the bottom. It's dragging now. You just reel it very slowly until you see a bottom type pop up. There it is. See, clay bottom type. Now, we need to know how deep it is there. If you're using float, that's very important. For bottom feeding, it's not so important. Open your bail. And you want to look. There's a little float. It's hard to see. You might want to use binoculars. There it is. You see it pop up. So now you just need to tighten it up just a little bit until you get a reading on the depth. There it is, 2.25 meters at that spot. So if you were using a float, you might set it for 2.1 meters if you were trying to catch the carp. Game tech, we are not sure if there's going to be a reset yet or not. Please stay tuned, and we will let everybody know about that. All right, now the next thing we need to go over very quickly is some of the new feeding techniques. And we may ride to another spot. The bite rate on this spot is not the best, but this spot seems to produce frame-sided carp the most frequently of the spots I've been able to locate on this lake. So that's why I started here. I was hoping to show off the new fish, and that kind of worked really well for us. So now, let's very quickly, let's go take a look at the new ground bait mechanics. All right. So we're going to go craft here, ground baits. Remember I told you you need that bait grinder. That's important. So we're going to get these crushed boilies here, and we're going to open up our boilie menu. And good, we've got some halibut and berries right there. We're going to take those, and we are going to crush some of these up. We'll crush up a few. All right, make one more crush there. All right, so we got 3 portions of that. Now we have a new thing called dry mix. All right, so we'll put a little ground peas in there, you know, your standard carp stuff. Let's throw some casters, because you know carp love casters. So let's go. Where are my casters? Here's some casters. We'll throw some casters in there. Now we're gonna get to the nitty gritty. So you can throw boilies in the mix if you want to throw whole boilies in there. You also have pellets that you can feed into the mix. We're gonna go with some Old Pal Corn 3. Smaller pellets help improve a bite rate. Larger pellets will help select for size. So if you're going after big fish, you might want to use the big, like 15 millimeter pellets or even bigger. If you're going after bite rate, you're going to want to use some smaller pellets. So we're going to go with some 3 millimeter corn pellets, you know, because carp like corn. We're going to throw in some of our crushed boilies here. Yeah, here we go. And then we are going to pick another additive. Let's see. What do we got? Let's go with something a little. You know what? Let's throw in some mussels. Where were the mussels? Yeah, let's throw in some 6 millimeter mussels to give them something proteiny. For an attractant, we'll go back to fruity. We'll throw some red plum on there. Oh, wait, let's see. We got all kinds of sauce here. Let's see what we got. You know what? Let's do the Tutti Frutti. Let's do Tutti Frutti sauce. There we go. So we got some Tutti Frutti sauce. We got the halibut and berries. We got another fishy protein. We got the classic corn and casters in there with a ground peas base. And let's give it a name. Let's just call it something simple. Carp 3. Now this makes 60 portions. Ooh, I got a perfect one. Awesome. So I got 60 portions of this new bait. I could use the spod rod to toss it out. That's one way you can deliver it. Another way is the PBA. So we go here, PBA stick. We throw in our dry mix. And then we're going to make, this is one of my favorite features, we're going to make 60 PVA bags at once. I now have 60 pieces of this new bait. Boom, like that. So, boom, I now have 60 pieces of PVA stick. I really like that. That makes me very happy. Another thing that you can do, if you would rather not do PVA, or you can leave a trail of breadcrumbs to your bait using PVA stringers. So we'll make a few just to show you how it works. We don't want to. Let's find the halibut. Yeah, here's some soluble halibut and berries. Soluble kind of dissolve in water, leaving a scent trail. So we're going to use a 10 here, and with the PVA stringer, and we're going to make a few of these. Make another one. Now, you do have to look at, what it's going to cost you, right? You get 10 pieces. You're using 10 boilies every time you make one of these. So that is something to think about as part of your strategy. And we got a fish on, guys. Infinity Merlin, yeah, I'll take a quick trip back to the shop so you can see the prices. The prices are about the same as the old boilies. There's just a lot more choice now. What do we got here? It's a carp. Yeah, I think it's another frame-sided. Might be. Yep, there we go. 4 kilo frame-sided carp. But before I go to the shop, I'm going to show you one more way to spend your hard-earned silver. And so you can also now feed with boilies. So we're going to put this throwing stick here, and we're going to put in some halibut and berries. Pick up our throwing stick, and we're looking to get about a 50 meter. You want to throw out 15 or 20 of these if you're going to use this technique. I think about 70% should get me about 50 meters. Yeah, perfect. 70% is what I'm looking for. Ooh, that's going to be a little short. That's okay. We want to spread it around a little bit, right? There we go. Another perfect cast. Want to go a little more to the left. Get one more throw out there. So we got 20 boilies. Consider them free samples. There we go. And now we got some people who are wanting to look at prices. So let's do that real quickly. We'll go back and take a look at the prices. Soon, Sir Lagolot, soon. It is almost complete. We're able to show you everything right now, and that's what we're doing. So, and remember, everything that you see in this preview is not final. Things could change, but it's pretty close to what you're going to get. All right, so, all right, sinking boilies. As you can see, they're really about the same as they've always been. Some of the higher quality ones are a little more expensive, right? But really, it's kind of the same here. And pop-ups, same thing. Very similar price range to what you had before. We'll look at some of the other stuff real quick though, since we're here. Pellets, it's a new bait type, primarily used for carp fishing, but can also be used for other species like catfish and things. Definitely got a wide variety of pellets available to you. And tiger nuts, for those experienced carp anglers, you know that this is a bait that a lot of people love to use for the Carp, so there you go. Tiger nuts are available if that's what you like. And then artificial corn. We have a whole big thing of all kinds of different corns, different colors, different flavors. So there you go. So let's go back to our rods and see what's going on. All right, no bites. Here in a little bit, we'll probably ride over to another spot and show that. You know what? Let's do that right now so we can show off the four-wheelers. We've covered all the big changes in the ground bait and the feeding methods, and we've shown off all the baits. And we've caught some frame-sided carp. Let's go after some common carp. Take a little tour around the lake. Kilted Jock, what do you mean by water effects? Are you talking about surface effects for like fish feeding and biting? Ultimate 8, as I said at the beginning, this is not the best bite rate spot, but it does have the best bite rate on the frame-sided carp. That was the reason why I wanted to show it, was because it would give me the ability to catch some of the new species for you. This is not the best bite rate spot, but it has the best bite rate on that particular species of carp, and that's one of the reasons I started here. And I caught 2 of them, so I got to show them off. So now we're going to go to another spot and be able to show off the bike and do a little more fishing. Well, they are not in right now. I don't seem to remember me speaking of new water effects. It would be awesome to have some new water effects, but no, they are not in right now. So we're going to ride around the lake to another spot. And actually, let me show you where we're going. We are going over here. This is where we're going. So we're going to get a little bit of a journey ahead of us. Go off-road for a little bit. Watch this, guys. You can run off the water. Uh-oh, I've done something bad. There, but it puts you kind of right back where you ran off at, so you're not like going all the way back to town. Just a few meters from where you ran off the road at. SimPro, the prices have been relatively the same for a long time. The development team is okay with the way the prices are going as far as game balance goes, and so they don't see a need to make any changes at this point. Maybe in the future that might change. I mean, things change. It is a game, things evolve, but right now they have not made any changes to the pricing. Yes, well, I'll show you the skill trees since you're asking, Kilted Jock. We'll go with the bottom fishing. As you can see, there are lots of skill points associated. Lots of skills. Let me see where I'm at. I got a ways to go. Yes, to Callan. The specifications on the reels are exactly the same as the original colors. They just let you, for those, because there are people out there that are like this. They like to match the colors. So for those who are a bit more fashion conscious than others, we've given them the ability to match the colors of the reels to their setups in some cases. So yeah, I know that's not everybody's thing, but some people like that. There is a new reel. It's called a Megara. That's a new one, but there's not a whole lot of new. Just mainly color changes. The big thing with this patch, guys, is to really show off the world of carp fishing and to give players the ability to fish for carp. Ooh, almost missed it. Fish for carp like the pro anglers do in real life. To give those rig choices, to give you the bait choices, to let you figure out and tune your approach to what's working for you. We are very close to the spot, right over here. And guys, these spots may change with the release. You know how the fish migrate, so just because I'm showing off a spot now does not necessarily mean it's going to work the way you want it to in the future. So yeah, right where I need to be. Cast. So we're going to use that's, here we go. All right, so this one, we'll stick with the snowman. We'll stick with the halibut and berries. You know what? No, we'll change them up. Let's go. We'll change them up a little bit. Let's put some Tutti Frutti on as the pop-up. Here we go. Here's some Tutti Frutti pop-ups. Let's see if we have a different brand, though. A higher quality brand of Tutti Frutti. There's a lot of choices. So many choices. Ah, here we go. We'll use these for our snowman. We are going to change the PVA out to the new, I think this is the stuff. Yeah. Make sure we have the 50-meter clip. Yep. I'm pointing in generally the right direction. Yep. Now this spot here is good for common carp. So the snowman, we'll leave that alone. Let that sit out there. This is, okay, halibut and berries, Tutti Frutti. I think, yeah, we'll just change out the ground bait. You know what? Let's do a PVA stringer. What's on these guys here? This one's halibut and berries. There we go. We'll use a PVA stringer so y'all can see what that looks like. There it is. There's your PVA stringer. You can see it on the end of the rod. Yeah, let's make sure you don't make comments, guys. I know. Oh, come on. Let me put the rod down. There we go. And then finally, the last one, it's a hinge tip. We'll leave it alone. You know what? We'll leave this alone. Actually, we'll change this up a little bit. Let's put some Tutti Frutti pop-ups on here. There we go. We got some Tutti Frutti pop-ups. We'll use that along with the wild plum. And actually, yeah, that'll work. We'll just leave that alone. All right, guys. Now that I've got some rods set up, we've gone over all the basic stuff. Is there any questions? Let's have some questions here. Let me see what we got going on. Well, the black baron, of course, is going to be one of the species of fish that's already in there. So it's not like a special species. It's a special example of a species. So that's why you haven't seen it yet, because no one's caught it yet. And I don't have any other comments other than that. These carps do get pretty big. Kim Joel, the rod pods. Rod pods are not in this patch. You want to see the new reels and rods. There's no new rods, Maza. The new reel is just another variation of a carp reel. It's called a Megara. The big difference between it and the Vanga is that it has a lower gear ratio, which is going to give it more torque. So for the sturgeon fishermen, they may look at this thing, even though it has a little bit less drag, it's got a lot more torque. So the sturgeon fishermen might look at the Megara. We'll see what happens when the patch releases. Other than that, that's the only really new reel in the game. I've sewn everything that's in right now, Kilted Jock. Kowski, absolutely it will. So if you know that, say, pike, like certain bottom types, then finding those bottom types on the bottom of the lake will help you find those pike, right? And predatory species have preferences just like bottom feeding species. So if you know what their preferences are and you can find them, yeah, that's where you're going to find the fish. That's part of what goes into where to find them. Just that they are in the standard carp range, Ruts. Fish prices look to be about the same. Of course, the rarer species like the frame-sided and stuff are a little higher than the standard common carp. But they do look to be about the same. Well, guys, yeah, the bite rate seems a little low here. They haven't bit. It's early afternoon. Temperature's a little low. And I may not have exactly the right baits. Remember, this is live. So preferences may have changed since when I tested. So we'll see. Azure, not sure at this point if we are getting a skill reset. Stay tuned to the announcements in the forums about this patch to find out about that. Yeah, that's probably a good idea, Duckin. Maybe we should try that. But I haven't bought any potatoes. Here's the funny thing. There were so many boilies in the game that basically what I bought was boilies. I bought some of the larvae because I was testing the maggot rig. You know, I didn't show that off yet. Wait, we got a bite, guys. There he is, nibbling it. What's on this rod? We might tune the rest of them. This is halibut and berries with tutti frutti corn. And there he goes, nibbling it. Just playing with it right now. Picking it up, spitting it out, rolling it around in his mouth, tasting it. Is it good? Do you like it? Kilted Jock. None of the all the boilies you've seen are silver. I showed you. There he goes. He's got it. And Keisha, as I've stated multiple times, and I'm not going to answer this question anymore. Last time, guys. Skill reset, we don't know yet. And we got a nice little common here. Let's get this back out there. Put on some PVA. Oh, somebody's doing some spin fishing. A 229 gram pike. Ooh. Go. Chaser. We do not have an ETA other than I can tell you it's going to be soon. That's all I can say. We as always, it's just we don't promise specific ETAs just in case something happens. But I will tell you it's soon. I mean, as you can see, it's complete now. Yeah, I know a lot of people are saying the bite rate looks not so hot. Yeah, because it's a new lake and no one has figured out exactly what's going well. We got some clues. Fruity stuff seems to be working. Fishy and fruity stuff seems to be working for people, but we haven't tightened down on it, and the preferences can change. So, but this spot was pretty good yesterday evening. So we'll see if it picks up. It might just take a minute for the ground bait to take effect. Ground bait, guys, will last 17 to 20 hours depending on what you're using. You'll want to refeed about that point. I haven't thrown out any free samples yet. Let's throw out some free samples. Since we showed off the, we'll show off the here, and see what kind of explosive stuff that we have. We'll use some explosive boilies this time. Let's see if we have any fishy or fruity explosives. Plenty of pop-ups. Soluble. Some hot cherry. Pop-up. Got some crab and mussels. Alright, you know what? Let's go with halibut and berry solubles. Alright. Let's see. Let's try about 70%. No, that's 80%. Let's see what's that get us. Ooh. So the catapult does not go nearly as far. That might not. We might have to use the Cobra. Yeah. Oh, maybe it's the casting distance. Let's so you can adjust that with your mouse wheel. See if that gets us any further. There we go. Yeah, I know. This is not something the normal player would do, just sling boilies all over the lake, but you can do that if you wish. That would be cool, Pie Steve. I'm with you on this. I would love to be fishing with Pendo and be able to blast him with some boilies. It would make me happy. Come on, Carps. Give me another couple good bites. Getting close to the early evening. As many people know, the bite rate tends to do a little better then. So let's just tighten up our lines and hope for something. Kim Joel, we have no ETA on that. That is something that was announced and that it would be looked at, but there is no ETA. I would say that's a pretty far future patch update myself, if it ever happens. It would be awesome, and it's a much requested feature request, and people agree it's fun to fish with your friends. That would be a really cool feature. Kilted Jock, at the beginning of the stream, I stated that, yes, that is a plan to have that added. It won't be in this patch, but it will be coming, hopefully in a very soon patch. Yeah, Enzo, you're absolutely correct. Right now, there's like 6 guys fishing this lake, right? Whoop, there we go. Now we're seeing a little action, and we're just going to wait for them to actually take it. Oh, I think he has this one. He's moving towards me, I think. Yep, he's on it. There we go. There we go. Ooh, he's on the other one, too. All right, I think we got him. We're going to have 2 fishies. Now, out of this spot, I didn't catch it, but another one of the testers did catch a ghost carp here. So cross your fingers, guys. Maybe we'll get lucky, too. What do we got here? All right, that's a mirror. Oh, I haven't caught one of these yet. This is a linear carp. All right. There we go. That's a nice surprise. Yes, the difference is that the linear is a specially bred species of carp. Remember, this lake is meant to emulate some of the carp fisheries that are found in Europe. So, in addition to your standard common carp, mirror, and leather, there are some specially bred subspecies, I guess, or just breeds, maybe might be a better term to use, of carp in here. No, Kim Joel, no trout in the lake. Yes, there is a cafe, Kilted Jock. What do you mean in real life, Kim Joel? This lake is not. This is a fantasy lake. This is not based on a real lake. I mean, it's based on the theme, the common theme of carp fisheries, but it's not a real lake. Ooh, I need to eat. All right, let's have some sausage and a little honey to sweeten it up. Oh, how about a plum? Oh, I'm full and don't need any more food. Awesome. Yes, fishing Angus, there are catfish. Let's show the species off again, since I guess we have some new people to the stream. All right, so you got your standard stuff, bleak and brim. Ooh, that's a nice brim, 8 kilos. Ooh, look at that. Chinese sleeper chub. Then you got your various carp breeds: albino carp, common carp, ghost carp, red carp, frame salad. There's also eel. That's a big eel, 9 kilos. Look at that thing. Frame sided ghost carp, leather carp, linear albino, linear carp, linear ghost. You know, just a bunch of different breeds of carp. Perch, pike, rough, tench, white brim. And you were asking about catfish. They are up here. Well, maybe I was wrong. I thought there were cats in this lake. I was. There. No, there it is. Yeah, there it is. All right, so you can get catfish. Lots of carps, frogs. You know, no one's asked about the frogs yet. Yes, there are frogs in the lake. Yeah, Worminator was very excited about the frogs too. The Proxa Worminator is like, he loves to fish for frogs. Doom Mafia, you want to feed the spot in this. Right now, I'm not doing a whole lot of the feeding because I'm doing a lot of talking. But yes, so guys, all of these feeding methods kind of stack, except remember in the ground bait there is still that cancellation mechanic a little bit. But even then, there's some tricks you can do with that too. So the dry mix, the method, not the method, sorry, the ground bait and the boilies, and your PVA stringers, all that kind of thing stacks. So you'll want to get into a feeding rotation. One thing we were using early on that does work, might not be the best way to do it, is we were starting off with rods set up with PVA stringers and then spod rodding ground bait dry mix in. And that was working for increasing the bite rate. And then I found, I think the PVA bag with the free samples tends to work a little better. So soluble boilies. So that's what I've been doing. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of combinations. Some of these methods do stack, so you'll be able to increase it. And also, I think I touched on it earlier. I may not have touched on it good enough though. Guys, there is a way to tune the spot for what you're looking for. If you want a large number of, say, or not a large number, but say you're more looking to get fish of any size, you'll want to use smaller components in your dry mix. Use the 3mm and the 6mm boilies so that fish of any size can enjoy them, and pellets. If you're looking for larger fish, then you'll want to use larger bits. Use the larger pellets, use the larger boilies, and that will help tune your approach to get the larger fish. So yes, you can tune the ground bait a bit to attract in general or to attract larger specimens. Of course, if you're going for larger, your bite rate may not be the most amazing in the world, but at least but you know this, and you've made it as a conscious decision that you're looking for big boys, and so you're purposefully making your ground bait mix to tune for larger species. Japan does not have their own client yet. In the future, who knows what will be done, but right now there is not a Japanese client. I wouldn't call them gone, Kilted Jock, because this is a simulation. Sometimes a silly little fish grabs your bait. This happens in real life too. I won't tell you some of my frustrations, but in real life. But yeah, occasionally you're going to get the fish just like always. But you're tuning the general balance of the fish that you're catching based on how you craft your ground bait. Yes, you're still going to get some brave little guys who come in and try their best. Maybe they're starving, or who knows why they do it. Or maybe they're just on a dare. I bet you can't fit that in your mouth. But for whatever reason, they go out and bite these big baits. Yeah, it'll still happen. The Praxa. You'll be able to use the new techniques on Bear Lake as well. As far as overall effect, I can't really tell you. That's going to be up for the players to discover. Yes, Kilted Jock. Sous Chef wants to hear my story of the Black Baron. Anyone get a link to that text? If someone can give me a link to the text, if they have it somewhere, I'll read it just for Sous Chef if someone can provide a link to me. There's only one new reel that I really noticed 5 month. It is it's called a Megara. It's a kind of a carp reel. The big difference is it has a much lower gear ratio, which means it's going to have more torque. Yes, marker here. You know what? I'll show off the marker rod again. We're getting close to the end of our time. I might wait a few more minutes for the morning bite just to see if something gets us in the morning. But all right, so I've cast my marker rod out, right? We're going to want to, once again, when you're using the marker rod, we want to, retrieval speed needs to be real slow. You know, 3 or 4 or 5. You don't want to go real fast with the marker rod. Then what you're going to do is you're going to drag this thing, and you may speed up. You may use the shift key to get your line tight. But once your line's tight, you're going to want to, there we go. Now it's going to start dragging across the bottom. Just there it is. Now you wait. You want to see in the lower left hand where you would normally see your retrieve type, you will see a bottom type once you figure, ooh, something snagged. There it is. We're in sludge. So there's your bottom type. Now if you would like to know the depth here, you hit the open your bail. Hit the enter key, open your bail. Now it's nighttime, so it's going to be hard to see, so we're going to just wait 15-20 seconds for the marker float to rise to the top. Once the marker float has risen to the top, then very gently, and it should be up now, very gently you're going to want to tighten up your line